Japanese verbs in 3 groups. There are thousands of Japanese verbs, but you can categorize all of them in 3 groups. Please look at this table. The first group is called Group 1 verb or U verb. Group 1 verbs are such as kaimasu, to buy, and its dictionary form is kau. So the dictionary form is the form which you can find it in the dictionary, and you can consider it as infinitive form. The stem of the kaimasu is actually ka, and mas form you attach imasu and then become kaimasu, and you attach u after the stem and it becomes dictionary form. Nomimasu, dictionary form is nomu. Kakimasu, kaku. Oyogimasu, oyogu. Hanashimasu, hanasu. Ikimasu, iku になります。The next category of verbs are called group 2 verbs or ru verb. Verbs such as 見ます、食べます they belong to group 2. The stem of these verbs doesn't change. So 見ます the stem is み and when you make it to dictionary form you just attach る 見る and 食べます 食べる The final group is called group 3 and they are very irregular. There are only 2 verbs in group 3, so you just memorize them. They are 来ます dictionary form is 来る and the last verb is します dictionary form is する Here, I've listed 7 verb forms. You're already familiar with ます形 mas form and 辞書形 dictionary form. Let's take a look at group 1 verb. I took 書きます as an example. First, ない形 ない form. 書かない mas form is 書きます Dictionary form is 書く Conditional form 書ければ Potential form 書ける Imperative form 書け Volitional form 書こうです Let's move on to group 2 verbs 食べない食べます食べる食べれば食べられる食べろ食べようです So in group 2 verbs you only need to switch stem so in case of 見ます it will become 見ない見ます見る見れば見られる見ろ見よう So quite simple The group 3 verb you just need to memorize because they are very irregular. ない form of 来ます is 来ない and then mas form is 来ます Dictionary form is 来る Conditional form is 来れば Potential form 来られる Imperative form 来い Volitional form 来ようです So we quickly went through 7 verb forms. And please look at group 1 verb and group 2 verbs here. If you look at group 1 verb in this order, you might notice something. 書かない、書きます、書く、書ければ、書ける、書け、書こう。Please look at vowels in red letters. You will see a, i, u, e, o. This is the important characteristic of group 1 verb. Please remember this. Besides 7 verb forms that I just introduced, there are 2 more important verb forms, which are called te form and ta form. Let's take a look at te form first. I believe you've heard te form again and again already. Like, 書いてください、食べてください、来てください、見てください、聞いてください。These are verbs in te form. Group 1 verb, like 書きます、te form is 書いて。Group 2 verb, 食べます、te form is 食べて。And group 3 verb, 来ます、te form is 来て。です。When you memorize te form, please start with group 3 verb because there are only 2 verbs, 来ます and します. And their te forms are 来て and して. You've already memorized that, I think. And you move on to group 2. The conjugation is quite simple. If you know the verb stem of group 2, you just need to attach te. That's it. And group 1 verb, it's a little bit more complicated. So I'll go into details. This is the table of te form of group 1 verbs. 買います te form is 買って。待ちます to wait. 待って like 待ってください please wait. それから帰ります to go home. 帰ってください please go home. Do you see underlined hiragana in mas form? Before mas, you see I, chi, ri. And these verbs, te form, I, chi, ri will be replaced with small tsu and te. The second group, yomimasu, becomes yonde, to read. Asobimasu, to play. Asonde. Shinimasu, to die. Shinde. です。Hiragana before mas form is mi, bi, ni. They will be replaced with nde in te form. Yonde, asonde, shinde です。Third group, 書きます。Hiragana ki before mas becomes ite. So 書きます becomes 書いて. And the next group, 泳ぎます. It becomes 泳いで. So ぎ will be replaced with いで in te form. 話します becomes 話して. し will be replaced with して in te form. Finally, 行きます is exception. 行きます becomes 行って. Just memorize this. Once you know te form, it's quite easy to make ta form. You just replace te form, te, with ta. And if the te form ends with de, and then you replace with da. So, 買って、買った。 待って待った。帰って帰った。読んで読んだ。遊んで遊んだ。死んで死んだ。書いて書いた。泳いで泳いだ。話して話した。言って言った。になります。So it's efficient to memorize te form and ta form at the same time. Okay, let's recap what we've learned in this video. Number 1. Japanese verbs can be categorized in 3 groups. Group 1 or u verb. Group 2 ru verb, and Group 3 irregular verbs. There are only 2 irregular verbs. Do you still remember them? Number 2, there are different verb forms. I've introduced 7 verb forms plus te form and ta form. There are more verb forms variations, but we are going to study them later. Finally, number 3, te form and ta form are like sisters. So when you once learn te form, it's very easy to learn ta form. Try to memorize them at the same time.